Hey, what is up, everybody? I'm here to give you my WWE United Kingdom Championship Tournament review, Part 1, because there was two parts of this. And, I can't wait to finally sit down and watch this tournament, but looking forward to it all month. I believe they announced it, in December, just before Christmas. Um, and they've, had me waiting this long, and I can't wait to watch it. I think this is going to be a great tournament. We're going to see a lot of interesting wrestling in this tournament, I think. And, I can't wait to see it. I don't really know anybody in this tournament really except one guy, and that's Danny Burch. But I barely know him because I've only seen him in squash matches. But it's gonna be interesting to see how this works because I have a feeling that a lot of these guys in this tournament could be fantastic. A lot of them could be, some of them could just really be bad that I don't like, and this tournament could just be a fail. But we're gonna have to wait and see. But yeah, I'm just gonna sit here and review part one. And I'm assuming how this is going to work, because I know how 16-man tournament works, because I played them a lot in the WWE video games, is obviously they have the first round, then they have the quarterfinals, then the semifinals, and then the finals themselves. I don't know what they call that first round necessarily, but I think that's how it's going to work. So I'm assuming maybe in this part it's going to show the first round and the quarterfinals. That's what I assume is going to happen. And then the next part it's going to show the semifinals and the finals themselves. But I'm gonna wait and see what they show though, and yeah. And what I'm gonna do is after each is I'm gonna review this in small videos and turn it into a big video, and I'm just gonna do it after each match. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let's get it started. Okay, so the show starts off. We had Nigel McGuinness and Michael Cole on commentary for this show. And it shows a video package of the United Kingdom Championship Tournament talking about how the WWE is not in the United Kingdom enough. Kind of the same thing I just talked about in my last video, so I won't kind of go into it too much. Um, and hyping up who could possibly win the be the first ever United Kingdom champion. And then it starts out with the lights out and just the spotlight on the stage. And Triple H comes out and cuts a promo and talks about how every foundation has a beginning, and he says that all the fans in the United Kingdom has started it. And he says, "Are you ready?" And then he unveils the United Kingdom Championship, and this looks like a sick championship. This actually looks better than the WWE Universal Championship. This title looks awesome. I actually really think it looks like a great championship, and I think whoever and carries this is gonna um, make it look prestige, hopefully. And whoever worked on this title deserves a lot of credit because they really put a lot of effort into this championship. Um, and then they announced what the brackets are going to be for the tournament, all the matches, and I just kind of want to kind of go over them. So this is going to be the first round. We're going to have Tyler Bate versus Tucker, Jordan Devlin versus Danny Burch, Trent Seven versus H.C. Dyer, I think is how you say that. Wolfgang versus Tyson D Bone. Mark Andrews versus Dan Maloney, I think is how you say that. James Drake versus Joseph Connors. Pete Dunne versus Roy Johnson. And Saxon Huxley versus Sam Gradwell. I don't know if I pronounced all the names right, but I did the best I could. And now I'm going to sit back and enjoy some of these matches. I just kind of wanted to say what the brackets were before I kind of, um, continue watching it. So I'm going to watch it and I'm going to watch it and enjoy the action. Okay, so first we had a 27 video package, and he talks about how he's where he's from and how I forget where he said I forget where he actually is from. I think he said from Paul, England or something, but where he's from started the English strong style of wrestling. And he says that being in the WWE is a huge opportunity. It's the biggest stage in professional wrestling. And he says that he plans on winning the United Kingdom Championship and becoming Well, he says he's planning on winning the tournament and becoming the first ever United Kingdom champion. Um, and then it shows a video package for HC Dio. And he talks about how pretty much the same thing, and he says that he has a right hook, and he says that normal other people's right hooks they just keep swinging until they knock the opponent out. But he says that for him, it just is going to take one swing to knock out his opponents and become the first ever United Kingdom champion. So overall, I thought they had good video packages, and then we had the first actual match on. We had an English announcer, which I thought was cool, and he announces that all these matches in the tournament are going to have a 15-minute time limit. So the first actual match is a United Kingdom Championship first round tournament match. Trent Seven versus HC Dyer. We found out that Trent Seven is actually one half of the Professional Wrestling Gorilla Championship tournament, or whatever the name of that company is, which makes me think he's probably not going to win this tournament just because of that reason. He's still technically signed with another company, and he's the champion of another company. Unless he dropped the championship, he would be able to win probably this tournament. But overall, I thought this was a good match here. Not a great match. I don't expect a lot of these matches from the first round to be. I expect them to be good, but I don't expect them to be like amazing. Just because it only is the first round, you don't want to blow all your wad in the first round. And plus, too, the differences between this and the Cruiserweight Classics is a lot of these is this is only a 2-night tournament. The Cruiserweight Classics was a 2-month tournament, so obviously they don't want to make sure that these guys don't get injured or anything like that. But I still thought this was a good match. Trent, they start off with the collar and elbow tie-up, and they both start chain wrestling each other. Trent Seven hits like about, well, actually that's not, he hits a sick chop on him, and HC Dyer tries to go for his right hook, but he ends up moving out of the way, and they end up both going on the outside, and Trent Seven goes for a chop, while Dyer's against the steel post, but Dyer moves out of the way, and Trent Seven ends up chopping the post, which ends up affecting his hand, and then Dyer puts him back in the ring, and then Seven hits like a bunch of chops, like about 7 chops in the corner, which looked sick, and then he spins around in the corner, hits another chop, which I thought was awesome, and Trent Seven hits a suplex, doesn't get the pinfall, and then HC Dyer hits a wicked drop kick, and then he eventually he hits he ends up hitting the right hook, and he ends up knocking Trent Seven right out, and but he doesn't go for the cover right away. There was 7 seconds where he could have gone for the cover, but eventually he does go for the cover, but Trent Seven's able to kick out, and then he ends up hitting his version of the Blue Thunder Bomb. And Trent Seven's still able to kick out. And then he goes for the frog splash. Trent Seven moves out of the way, and then he hits the I forget what he calls it, but he hits the lariat for the win. And Trent Seven ends up advancing into the quarterfinals. So overall, I thought this was a good match, and I thought the commentary was really good in this match. I especially was impressed with Michael Cole's commentary. This kind of does show. But I could be wrong, so I'm going to continue watching these matches. This does show that Michael Cole is actually a good commentator when he actually can call the matches himself, or when the WWE isn't forcing him to hold back. He actually is a pretty good commentator. He's not a great commentator, but he actually is a good commentator. But overall, I thought this was a good match to kick off this tournament. Alright, so we had a video package for Danny Burch, and he talks about, how he's been a part of NXT, and what he's done down there, and how he was there for 2 years, and he says that it's an honor for him to be able to compete in this tournament. He talks about how he has a history in boxing and ball fights, and he says that he's not just in this tournament for win. There's no plan B for, well, actually, he also says that there's no plan B for him in life, that he was meant to be a wrestler. And then he says that he's not in this tournament just to compete in it. He's in it to win the whole thing. So I thought he had a pretty good story. And then we had a video package for Jordan Devlin. I've talked about him. He's from Ireland, and his um, style of wrestling is catch wrestling, and with a little bit of strong style. And but he's not like a technical wrestler. And then he says that he was trained by Finn Balor, but he doesn't want the WWE universe thinking about him as Finn Balor's protege. He wants to make his own name, which I thought was a good story. And then we had the next match. It was a United Kingdom Championship first round tournament match. Danny Burch versus Jordan Devlin. Um, and this match kind of surprised me in a way. I thought this match was really good. Um, they both start chain wrestling. Well, no, Jordan Devlin immediately tries to get a victory with a roll up, but Burch is able to kick out. And then they both start chain wrestling each other for a little while. And there was a spot where Devlin tried to go for a high knee, but then Burch reversed it into a like he was gonna go for a knee ball, but he ended up just catching his knee and pulling him away, which I thought that was a good spot. And then Devlin gets the upper hand and he dominates the matchup for a while. And I don't know what happened here. I guess because I originally had thought that Danny Burch was going to be the one working heel in the match, and Devlin was going to be the one as the babyface. Because he kind of comes out and he's kind of acted like Finn Balor with his entrance. And he had Finn Balor out there watching from the crowd. I thought he was going to get like Finn Balor's endorsement. He was going to be the mega babyface going in this match. But everyone was kind of chanting that he was a Finn Balor ripoff. Everyone was kind of hating on him, They were chanting Finn Balor on him and everything, the crowd. And I thought that was kind of interesting. And he's getting upset about this, and he reacts the way he should be reacting. And I thought that was actually great. So he dominates the matchup for a while, and then eventually Danny Burch ends up getting the advantage, hitting a missile drop kick from the turnbuckle, off the turnbuckle, and then he starts to make his comeback. But Danny Burch gets in control again. But then Danny Burch hits a uppercut into a knee to the head, and ends up and tries to pin him, but Devlin kicks out, and then he immediately puts Devlin in a crossface, but Devlin's able to get to the ropes. And then everybody started chanting for Burch. He was getting over really huge as a babyface. And Danny Burch tries to go for a German suplex, but Devlin counters into an O'Connor roll-up. But Burch kicks out. And then Danny Burch tries to charge at him in the corner. He ends up moving out of the way. And then Devlin ends up hitting an enziguri. Ends up hitting a spinning roundhouse kick right to the back of the neck of Danny Burch, and he ends up getting busted open from this. And he goes for the cover, and it looked like Danny Burch kicks out, but he actually doesn't kick out. The match is actually just over, and they show the replay a ton of times, and he actually doesn't kick out. I think it's not like he missed his cue to kick out. I think what was supposed to happen was he was knocked out from the roundhouse kick, and he didn't hear the referee's count, so he had just kicked out on instinct, but he kicked out too late, and I think that was what the finish was. But I thought at first I was actually pissed off about this, saying that this was a bad finish, and I was going to come on here and rant about it. But I thought actually, in a sense, it was a good finish because it got Jordan Devlin really over as a heel. He got major booed from this, and I should say he got major boos from this. And afterwards, Danny Burch is all busted open. He's obviously upset that he feels like he was screwed over, which makes sense. But afterwards, he goes to shake Devlin's hand, and Devlin shakes his hand, and then he takes Jordan Devlin. Then Jordan Devlin takes Danny Burch's head off with a super kick, and then he gets asked he gets interviewed and asked what happened, and he says that he's here to win the whole tournament, and he's going to go all the way with it. And he says that he doesn't care what these people think, and I liked it. I thought this was actually really good stuff. I thought the match itself was good. I actually would say really good, and I thought I like what they did with the aftermath with Jordan Devlin making him a heel. I actually kind of want to like this. I don't know if I want to see him win the tournament because I haven't seen the other competitors, but right now, but I would like to see him go all the way to the finals, depending on unless I see the other competitors though. Um, but yeah, I thought this was really good stuff. Okay, so next we had a video package for Saxton Hugsley. No, sorry, yeah, Saxton Hugsley, and he talks about how where he's from, and he says that he was adopted when he was a kid, so he felt like he always had a battle his entire life. Um, and he said that he's probably the one that can actually win this tournament because of how sharp he is. He reads because he's constantly meditated and he reads books. And he said that this tournament's not about making friends; it's about winning and becoming the first ever United Kingdom champion. And I thought he had a good video package and a good story. And then next we had a Sam Gradwell video package, and they were actually in his hometown. Um, well, not his hometown, but his home country. Well, yeah, his hometown. So he was obviously gonna get a huge reaction, and he talks about how he's um, been wrestling for years. He has a lot of experience. He says that he has had an uphill battle since birth. His house has been um, pretty much been a war zone. His mother was an alcoholic, and his father was never there for him. And he was stuck raising his brothers and sisters, and he said that wrestling was his scapegoat. It helped get him out of that. And he said that he is here to win the whole tournament. He's not here to pander to anybody. Um, and I liked it. So originally I thought he was gonna be a heel, but he ended up actually working babyface in this match. I feel like the only reason he did was because they were in his hometown, but still. And then we had the match. It was another United Kingdom Championship first round tournament match. Saxton Hugley versus Sam Gradwell. Um, I thought this was a good match. Nothing fantastic. They both started doing some chain wrestling towards each other. Um, Grad Gradwell hit a butterfly suplex on Saxton, but Saxton kicked out of it. And then he goes for the diving headbutt, but Saxton rolls out of the ring, and Gradwell goes after him. And then Saxton hits a backbreaker on him, but he kicks out, and he tries to, and then eventually and then Sam Gradwell hits an uppercut into a clothesline, and then hits the diving headbutt, which he ends up hurting himself for the win, and he ends up advancing in the tournament. Overall, I thought this was, like I said, I thought it was like an okay matchup here. Nothing fantastic, but I thought it was okay, and I actually liked both competitors here. I actually especially liked Sam Gradwell. I thought he was really good. Okay, so next we had a video package for Joseph Connors, and I really liked Joseph Connors. He talks about how he has been wrestling for a long time. He's wrestled all over the UK, and he's wrestled in Europe, and he talks about how this business has changed him. Um, he says that he lost half of his ear, which was really um, weird. Well, not weird, but which was really interesting. And he said that he's a different man. He's not here to make friends. He's here to annihilate people, which I liked. And then James Drake has a video package. Pretty much says about the same thing. They've pretty much had the exact same career path. And he says that he's not that he's wrestled everybody there was to fight, Japanese, Americans, and he says that he doesn't have that technical wrestling style. He wants to go in and he wants to beat you up, and he wants to be the first ever United Kingdom champion. Um, and then we had the next match. It was James Drake versus Joseph Connors in a United Kingdom Championship first round tournament match. Um, and I thought this was a really good match. I think this has been the match of the night of the tournament so far. Um, and they both start hitting chain wrestling moves, and Drake tries to work on the right ear of Connors, and he really goes after it. Um, he tosses, but eventually Connors tosses him on the apron, but he ends up hitting a shoulder to the gut to get back in, and he ends up hitting a drop kick on Connors, but Connors ends up kicking out. And then Connor starts dominating the matchup for a little bit. He starts trying to rip out the ear on Drake, which I thought was cool. And um, James Drake starts hitting his comeback, and eventually Joseph Connors hits a goalie, but James Drake's able to kick out of it, and eventually James Drake hits the Don't Look Down, which is a Yoanagi into a flatliner for the win, and he advances in the tournament. He advances to the quarterfinals. I thought this was a really good match. I really like both these guys. I thought their styles and their gimmicks really fit for them to have a match with each other, and I thought it was awesome. So overall, I thought this was a really good match. Okay, so the next thing was a video package for Mark Andrews, and he talks about how he feels like he's a loner in this tournament because of the fact that he's the only one that's from Wales, and he says that he not only wants to launch um, England wrestling, he wants to watch wrestling for Wales, and he wants to make Wales a well-known brand, and he says that he wants to be the first United Kingdom champion because he's the smallest guy in this tournament, and he feels like that he has a lot to prove. So overall, I thought Mark Andrews was good, and he said that he's going to be high-fiving fans and hitting dives on people. So I thought that was good. Um, and then we had Dan Maloney video package, and he says that he didn't grow up from a good place. He said that he's seen some despicable things, and then the person that was interviewing asked him, "What despicable things have you seen?" And then he says, "I don't think I should talk about it." And he says that he's a force to be reckoned with, and he says that he wants to be the first United Kingdom champion to finally validate all his hard work that he's done in his career. So overall, I thought they had some pretty good stories behind him. And then Mark Andrews gets interviewed and says pretty much the same thing he said in his video package. And then we had a United Kingdom Championship first round tournament match. Mark Andrews versus Dan Maloney. Overall, I thought this was a good match. This was a nice fast paced match. Mark Andrews ended up hitting a drop kick. He ended up hitting a drop kick while Maloney was on the ground, and he ended up hitting a sick crossbody. And eventually he hits a dive on the outside, and he puts Maloney back in the ring. And Maloney hits a face first suplex and a big boot to the face. Um, and eventually, though, he goes for a suplex, and Mark Andrews reverses it into a stunner. And Andrews ends up winning with the shooting star press. And that was the end of the matchup. Mark Andrews goes over. He advances in the tournament, and now he's going to be facing Joseph Connors, which I think is going to be a pretty interesting matchup. And that was it. Okay, so then we had next, so it was a video package for Tucker, and he talks about where he came from, and he said that he's the underdog. Everyone looks at him as an underdog in this tournament because a few years ago he had well, should I say a few months ago, he had knee surgery, and we thought it was going to be a career-threatening injury, but he's back, and he is here to win um, and become the first ever United Kingdom champion. And then we had a video package for Tyler Bate, and he talks about how he's thrilled to have this opportunity. He's only 19 years old, but just because and he says that age doesn't matter to him. The only thing that matters to him is the 1, 2, 3, and he says that the way that he's gonna get out of win this tournament is he has two fists. One is dog and one is Bane or something like that. And he says that when they hit those fists on you, you're out like a light. So I thought overall that was a solid video package. And then we had the main event match on the show, the final match in the first round of the United Kingdom Championship Tournament, Tucker versus Tyler Bate. I thought this was a really good match. I really enjoyed it. The match starts off with them doing a bunch of chain wrestling to each other. Tucker tries to go for a moonsault. Bate moves out of the way. Bate goes for an elbow drop. Tucker moves out of the way, and um, Tucker goes for a super kick, and Bate's able to move out of the way. And then they start having a face off, and then Tucker just hits a wicked right hand right onto no Tucker Tyler Bate hits a wicked right hand right onto Tucker, and he just knocks him out. I don't think it knocked him out, but it was a right hand that he didn't see coming, and he nearly gets the pinfall that way. And Tucker gets a little bit pissed off about this. He ends up hitting a wicked insecurity on Bate, and Bate though dominates the matchup for a little bit, but Tucker is able to make a comeback. He hits a drop kick. He hits an insecurity in the corner, and then he hits a pay. I forget the name of the move now. I've been trying to remember it, but it's pretty much a slingshot pay dirt through the ropes, which I thought looked really sick. And Bate ended up kicking out of it. Um, Tucker ended up no, Bate ended up using his foot and holding it, and it ended up kicking Tucker right in the head. I thought that was sick. And Tyler Bate hit a springboard uppercut. Tucker kicked out of it, and then Tucker starts to play possum, but Bate tries to go after him and while he's on the ropes, but Tucker moves out of the way and he ends up crashing on the outside. Tucker goes for a suicide dive, and Bate catches him with an uppercut, and then they both go on the outside. Tucker Bate tries to go for a German suplex on the outside on Tucker, but Tucker counters it, and he tries to throw Bate into the steps, but Bate jumps off of it, and then Tucker jumps off the steps and hits a hurricanrana right onto the ramp, which was sick. And Tucker gets Bate in the ring, tries to cover him, but Bate kicks out. And what else? Tucker hits another hurricanrana, but Bate kicks out again. And Bate tries to go for the Tyler bomb, I believe, the Tyler driver, but Bate counters into a roll up, and he ends up hitting a wicked super kick onto Bate, and he falls out of the ring, so Tucker can't cover him. So Tucker tries to put him back in the ring. He goes for the drop kick, but Bate's able to move out of the way, and Bate hits a Tyler driver for the win, and advances in the tournament. And now we know what the quarterfinals are going to be, which I am going to say in the next video. But the quarterfinals are set, and overall I thought the matches were really good matches. Nothing fantastic because, like I said, it's only the first round. You don't want to have a fantastic match right away because of the reasons that I had stated. So I'm happy they didn't give but I still thought they had really good matches. And if I had to say what my favorite match of the night was, it was probably James Drake versus Joseph Connors. I thought that was a really good match, and I thought that was just the best match of the tournament. Really, I thought that was really good. If I had to say a worst match, it really wasn't like a bad match. But if I had to say a worst match, I actually really couldn't tell you what the worst match was. Just because there wasn't really a match and I'd have to watch it again to really tell you. There probably is a worst match on here, but I really don't know because it's just kind of tough. Because I actually enjoyed the Mason Ryan, Dan Morley match, Wolf versus Tyson T-Bone. I'm gonna say maybe the first match, Trent Steven versus H.C. Dyer. Not that it was a bad match, I just didn't enjoy it as much as I did the other matches, so I'm gonna say probably that match. But yeah, so but the show isn't over yet. Apparently, Nigel McGuinness is now gonna give a presentation, so let's see what that is. Okay, so now the end of the show is Nigel McGuinness and William Regal present the the competitors for the quarterfinals. I actually have them on my phone. Let me just pull them up. It's going to be Tyler Bate versus Jason Devlin, Trent Seven versus Wolfgang, Mark Andrews versus Joseph Connors, and Pete Dunne versus Sam Gradwell. And William Regal says, tries to say best of luck. There can only be one United Kingdom champion, one winner, and everything. And then Pete Dunne takes a cheap shot at Sam Gradwell and beats the crap. And William Regal pulls him up and he gets in his face like, "What the hell are you doing?" Um, I thought this was great. I thought it made Pete Dunne look like a heel and look like a good destructive heel, and that he's a force to be reckoned with in this tournament. So I thought this was great. Okay, so the last thing on the show is we had a Facebook Live video interview with Triple H and William Regal, and they just kind of talk about the United Kingdom Championship tournament, and they answer some questions, which I'll talk about. They talk about how they set up this tournament, and they said that they went and found the best talent possible for this tournament, and how it's an exciting tournament. Um, they get asked if Pete Dunne's gonna have any consequences for attacking hold on, just give me Sam Gradwell, and William Regal says that's up to him. He said there is going to be some actions, but they're not going to take him out of the tournament. William Regal isn't going to go in for anybody's place. And they talk about how it's whether or not they're going to start doing pay-per-views at the United Kingdom, and they said, well, it could be a possibility, but it's tough to do that because you can't just go about it and do it. You have to. It takes a while because you also have to get all the win equipment. From the United States all the way to the United Kingdom, and that's not an easy task to do. So I actually think that does make some sense, but I still think if they've done it, if they could do it in 1992, I think they could still do it in I think they could definitely do it in 2017 with the technology they have and everything. And they talk about how they've launched off NXT, they launched off the Cruiserweight division, and now they've launched off. They're gonna try to make the United Kingdom either its own show or something. They want to use this as a launching pad for a new show. And they talk about, why you should watch the show for tomorrow night. And that was really it. There really wasn't anything else to discuss. I thought overall they had a good Q&A segment, and I thought it was good. I thought, and actually they did say, the one thing that Triple H said is, they get asked if there is going to be any collaboration with any of these promoters from any of these different indie wrestling companies. And Triple H says, we're thinking about it, but we don't want to just have an indie wrestling promotion that just has we don't want to have an indie wrestling promotion that just has a guy wrestle a match, they get money, and they don't hear from him again. They want that indie wrestling promotion to be teaching that wrestler, to be teaching him what he should be doing, which I think actually does make sense. So I did like that. But overall, I thought this was a good interview segment. So overall, I thought part one of the United Kingdom Championship tournament was really good. I didn't think it was anything great, but I still thought it was really good. I loved watching it. I thought they had some really good matches. I liked Trent Seven versus HC Dyer. Danny Burch versus Jordan Devon was a really good match. I've actually kind of talked about this. All the matches I thought were really good, and I didn't think they were great, but like I said, it's only the first round, so you don't really want to expect anything great right now. But I definitely think it was definitely a really good starting pace to get into like the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and the finals. I think it's kind of weird that they're having the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and the finals all on one show, but maybe they couldn't fit it all on the same show. But I can't wait to watch the next episode, because I think the next episode is going to be fantastic. But I still thought this was really good. It still had some really good wrestling, and it still had some really good matches. There was nothing I hated on this show, and it was definitely a nice different style for me of wrestling for me to watch. And I can't wait to see who is going to be the brand new first ever United Kingdom champion. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Make sure to subscribe to this channel and my CM Brothers and Owen the Talkinator channel. And I will talk to you guys later.